Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Ace from Fit to Play Games. We are in the Fit to Play Games game room again, and we're about to go check out all the games that I have picked up, even miscellaneous things for the month of March. So guys, join me, grab your coffee, have a seat, and relax. Welcome back to the channel, but before we get started, I want you to visit these guys' YouTube channels right over here on the right side. Guys, they will never steer you wrong. These guys make fantastic YouTube content when it comes to video games, video game pickup, and behind the scenes of YouTube. So make sure you check them out. Give them a thumbs up if you like the videos that you see from their channel, and if you like their content, make sure you subscribe to their channel to show them some love and support. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the things that I picked up for March. So these are the things that I picked up from the local Goodwill. At number 1, we have Final Fantasy X-2 for the PlayStation 2. Guys, this is the sequel right after the events of Final Fantasy X. But a small spoiler, Tidus did disappear after defeating Sin in Final Fantasy X. And in Final Fantasy X-2, Yuna actually found a video of somehow Tidus being alive, and she was thinking he was probably back to life, so she went to go ahead and investigate with the 2 other gals right over here, Pain and Riku. So guys, check this game out. If you ever come across it, it's fantastic. Next up on the list, we have Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy for the PlayStation 2. This game is fantastic, guys. It's a beautiful mixture of shoot 'em up with the 3D platforming that was involved. Like, guys, this just definitely held up its own against other shoot 'em ups out there. We've seen this game been reprinted so many times to different consoles. We've seen this for the PlayStation 2 with multiple titles, PlayStation 3 with a remake, and also PSP with a different title, but also pretty fantastic. Definitely the newer one was the PlayStation 4, which was released by Limited Run Games, and it came out with, I think it was a triple pack in 1 CD. Guys, this is a fantastic franchise. Check them out. If you ever come across it, you will not be disappointed. So next thing we have here is the Super Monkey Ball Banana Split. Just kidding, Banana Blitz. Anyway, this was a very cool game. I played the Super Monkey Ball for the GameCube, and I really had a blast playing that game. And I thought, you know what, I saw this at Goodwill and I picked it up. It's a very simple racing game. It reminds me a whole lot of the Sonic 3D that came out for the Wii as well, and also the Mario Kart. So guys, if you ever come across this, definitely check it out. It's a very fun game. I also picked up 2 more games. Well, 2 more Game Boy Advance games for 50 cents each. This one is Tarzan Return to Jungle, and this one is Monster Force. Now, I have not seen any type of gameplay regarding this thing, and I'm gonna probably have to play it on my Game Boy Advance so I can talk more about it somewhere in the future. But that's all the games I picked up from Goodwill. 5 games for under $5. I think all of these was $4.57, which is not a bad deal for 5 games. Can't be. Guys, I also visited half-price bookstores. If you guys remember from a previous video, which I'll probably attach to this video, I took you guys, window shopping, game shopping in half-price bookstores, and you guys saw the different types of systems and different types of games that they have there. And I was just glad that I was able to share that with you guys. And I picked up 2 games from them as well, which is Battle Arena Toshinden, the first one. And this one is for the original PlayStation. Guys, I never got to play this for the original PlayStation, so I ended up picking it up. I did, however, got to play this for the Game Boy system, which was very fun, and I still own that up to today, which is pretty cool. So I thought, hey, you know what? I'm gonna check that out for the PlayStation. I'm a big fan of the PlayStation system, and I went to go ahead and buy it. It was $5.99. What could go wrong? The other one that I picked up was Darkstalkers for the PSP. This one is, I believe, Darkstalkers Chronicles. Yes, it's a loose game, but I'm a big fan of the Darkstalkers fighting game. That was those were the early arcade days, and as soon as it came out for the consoles, I ended up picking that up so I can play it at home. But other than that, $5.99 for Darkstalkers game cannot be bad. Moving along the game section here, I've been watching these two games from the local retro game store that is near my vicinity, and I've been watching it for a year, guys, because I was hoping that the price would change. But it's one of those games that are very obscure and hard to find. That's why I guess the price never really lowered. But I went to go ahead and pull the trigger and bought these two games, the Yotogi and the Togi 2. I've always been interested in the gameplay of this particular game because it reminds me a lot of the original Onimusha that came out for the PlayStation 2, and I've always wanted to try it. It's just that, you know, the price was a little steep. $20 for this really old game, but very obscure. That's why the price point never really changed. But I got this for $20 and I cannot wait to play it. And I bought the part 2 for a little $14-15. You know, I'm just happy that I'm able to buy them and add them into my collection. And I do plan to make a gameplay video of this so you guys can see it and I can actually play it for the first time. So I plan to share that with you guys sometime soon. So let's move on to the next video then. So I was actually browsing through the limited run games for a while, trying to see if there's some kind of game that's, you know, floating around in their website, and I was actually able to buy 2 games. I don't know, for some reason this was supposed to be sold out, but this was some kind of an anomaly. There was one left of each game for some reason, for some weird reason. And I'm familiar with these games, I played them, and I'm just happy that I was able to buy them. Now, for the purposes of opening boxes and packages, I pre-opened everything for you guys. So I was planning on doing an unboxing, but you know what, I wanted to be safe, so I did everything on my own with safety precaution and all that stuff. So this is what the contents of the box is. So one, we have the Origins brand new sealed copy from limited run, and when I bought it, it actually came with this card right here. I've had a couple of games from limited run before, and they make fantastic cards. Like, look at the details and all of these bordering that's made out of silver. It's very shiny if you take a look at it. Aside from that, the Ys games are fantastic. I own them for the PSP, I have them for my PlayStation, and I think I have one of them for the PlayStation 2 as well. I've always been a big fan, love the RPG, love the gameplay, and how everything is broken down to fantastic storylines for the Ys games. Now, number 2 from limited run is this one, Ferns Gate. I've been playing this for the Xbox One for a long time now. I never thought that they were actually gonna come out in physical copy until I started looking around and I saw this in limited run. There was one more copy, and you know, just like typical limited run, they actually have a card too after buying and purchasing this and sent into my home. I'm just glad that I was able to add this to my collection because I'm a big fan of Ferns Gate. Kemco makes fantastic RPG. If you guys are unfamiliar with the whole company, they make a lot of RPG games that you might like, and you know, it kind of brings you back to the retro days, but they're more smoother than the ones we had back in the day. So definitely check out Ferns Gate if you guys ever come across it, or you can actually buy them digitally. Guys and girls, moving on to the GameStop stuff. I have here a Final Fantasy Tactics game for the PlayStation 1. Guys, this was actually for free because during the time I bought this, this was the buy 2 get 2 free, and you know, you can never go wrong with the Final Fantasy games. This is a strategy type of RPG. It also had a pretty good storyline. I actually owned this with the black label on, but I thought, you know what, it was free, I might as well go ahead and say, hey, this is the one I want for free. As you guys can see, my friend Kirk actually wrote that down. Paid for, but because I bought 2 other games, that made this one free. So that is Final Fantasy Tactics. Next thing, I actually found this Drakengard for the PlayStation 2 as well from GameStop. They were selling it for $11.99, and I've been searching around the internet for a copy of Dragon Guard, and you know, these games don't come cheap now. You know, they were probably cheaper back in the day when PlayStation 2 was still new, but this has become a classic. Even the part 2 is really expensive, so you know what, $11.99 complete. It's got a manual and a clean CD. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy and pull the trigger. Next thing here, I also bought the game Folklore. I've never played the game, never seen any gameplay on it, so I'm very excited to actually try it for the PlayStation 3, and I'll tell you guys all about it, and if I see that it's very interesting, I'm gonna go ahead and make a gameplay video for you guys. Next, I have Hunted the Demon's Forge. Now this is a 2-player game. It can be a 2-player game, but it's also a 1-player game. This reminds me a lot of the game, what was that? Champions of Norath. I believe there's 2 games that came out for the PlayStation 2 Champion games, and it does remind me a lot of it because it's a 2-player and you basically build up your character to strengthen with different skills, and the avenues for this game is just fantastic, and I don't know why it didn't really hit very well to the public, but I feel like it's a very good game. Next I have Beyond Two Souls. Now I've never tried this game before, but I saw the guy that played Goblin from the Spider-Man movies, and you know what, this might be a fantastic game to check out. And this reminds me a lot of the game The Touring for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and also what was that one game, there was like a story-based game where your decision matters, so definitely something good to pick up. This was one of those free games along with the Final Fantasy. Next, I also picked up Star Ocean International. Guys, you know me and my Star Ocean RPG games. I'm a big fan, and I've been collecting all the Star Oceans from different systems. For some reason, Star Ocean is spread amongst the different consoles that we have today, which is very cool in my opinion. But I had to pick up Star Ocean International. It was $4.99. Why not? And lastly here, for the other game, I also picked up Dragon Quest 11 for the PS4. Guys, I have this for my Nintendo Switch, but you know what? I wanted to see the difference between the graphics of the final of this game for the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. So you know what? I cannot wait to try it on the PS4 to see the difference between the graphics wise and how the engine of the game plays in the PlayStation 4. Because I already know how it plays on the Nintendo Switch. I want to see how it plays on the PS4. So another game that I bought from GameStop is the Darksiders Collector's Edition for the PlayStation 4. Now guys, I wasn't really planning on buying this because I already have it for my Nintendo Switch, but I came into GameStop looking for the Nephilim Edition maybe, but it was pretty funny because I was just 5 minutes away to getting, there was actually the Nephilim Edition and this Collector's Edition in that GameStop that I went to, and you know, I was just 5 minutes late of getting that because when I walked in, the guy was already walking out with the Nephilim Edition, and you know, I was like, hey Kurt, you know, is there any way that you can check if there's any Nephilim Edition of the Darksiders Genesis, because I wanted to get the statue that comes with and also that board game that came with that whole Nephilim Edition. But he said, oh dude, the guy that passed you by actually bought the last one that we had in store, and he did offer me the Collector's Edition, so you know what, I'll pick that up. It's a lot cheaper than the Nephilim Edition, and it also came with a statue, so I'm kind of happy with that as well. Next thing we picked up is pre-ordered Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch. I've been waiting for this to come out for a while now. It was pretty funny actually. The system came out first before the whole game. I would have thought the game should have come out first before the Nintendo Switch, or at least come out at the same time. But anyway, I'm just glad that I'm able to add this into my collection. Unfortunately, I won't be using it for a while just because I already have a Nintendo Switch that is connected to my TV, which is in front of me. So this is going to be sitting right up there with my Super Smash Bros. Collector's Edition Nintendo Switch. And I'm going to be staring at him for a while. It would be nice to add to my collection. So next thing I bought was a Broly statue from GameStop. And guys, may I just say, this looks so beautiful. Check it out. Guys, like I told you before, I'm a big fan of Broly. He was probably one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z characters of all time. He just poses an imposing power. Like, look at the details on this, including the pegs and the arms and the way his abdomen and his chest area, it's just fully detailed, including his facial expression when he goes Super Saiyan. He does go berserk. That's what I like about him. He's just fantastic all around. The statue that I bought is a Super Saiyan Gotenks, and I'll show you a little bit more of the visual of this statue. It looks beautiful. Guys, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is just awesome looking. It's a mixture, a fusion between Trunks and Goten. They just look cool, and the way it's detailed and the way they behave, they totally got it when they were making this statue. It just looks so awesome looking, especially the details on the arms. Even though they're tiny characters in the anime, they still look fantastic. The statue that I bought is a Chibi Goku Super Saiyan 3. Guys, check out the visual. This thing is beautiful. My Super Saiyan 3 Chibi Goku looks so awesome. I know any of you guys who are familiar with the Dragon Ball Z GT series, Goku was definitely revived back, but as a child, but he was also revived having some of his powers unlocked, so he's able to transform into a Super Saiyan 3. The details on this guy just look so awesome. Look at that hair, Super Saiyan 3 style. It's just phenomenal. It looks so good, and I can't wait to decide. I actually can't decide where to put this fantastic statue at, but I think I have a pretty good idea where. The statue that I bought is a Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta. Guys, check out another visual of this awesome looking statue. So Super Saiyan 2 Majin Vegeta just looks so badass. As you can see from the facial there, the visual of this thing looks so badass. The way the body is structured, the veins popping out when Super Saiyan 2 has been turned on, and the lightning that comes out, that's a typical Super Saiyan 2 feature. And yeah, he just looks so badass. Look at that, the way he's punching. I remember this scene from when Vegeta was actually fighting Goku and exhausting all of his energy during the Buu series. Looks phenomenal. Yeah, so lately I have been beefing up my Nintendo Switch games, and I actually bought the Rune Factory 4 Special Archival Edition for the Nintendo Switch. Now guys, I actually own the Rune Factory 4 for my Nintendo DS, and by golly, that game is fantastic. It's just basically your Harvest Moon game with the RPG relation in it. You can also get married in the game. With this game, there's actually an option which is a newlywed option, and you know, obviously you're a bachelor and you get to explore the town, you know, fish, mine, cook food, and actually court the person you want to marry, which is very, very fun. And the reason I got the Archival Edition is because this, well, what's funny guys, is this never came out at GameStop. Yes, you're not the only one surprised. I'm surprised too, because I had my friend John who works at GameStop check this, and the only thing he saw was the ones for the Nintendo DS. And I'm like, John, it actually came out already and it's in the market. And he was like, oh my gosh, why isn't it on the GameStop archive? So they didn't have this. I went to Best Buy, bought a copy, but they didn't have the Archival Edition. But I got this one at Walmart, which is pretty funny because this was the only copy that they had at Walmart. And they said they have the single copies. This is standard version, but this one came in along with it. It was just the one. I was like, what? Where's the rest of them? and he said this was the only one that came in with the rest of the standard game packages. So I'm like, you know what, I'll buy that, and I'll also buy a standard. So I have a standard that I play. I have a sealed copy of the Archival edition, just for, you know, collector's purposes. Okay, so talking about beefing up my Nintendo Switch games, I actually received a bunch of games that I bought from PlayAsia. Now guys, don't be alarmed, I didn't really buy anything from PlayAsia. I actually, well, PlayAsia is basically kind of like your limited run. They actually have 4 different locations. One is in Tokyo, Japan. They have one in Taipei. They have one in Hong Kong and the Philippines. Guys, I am originally from the Philippines, so I actually have family members that live there, and apparently they live close to the store where PlayAsia is located, where their headquarters is in the Philippines. So what I ended up doing is I actually sent some money to some of my cousins, and they got me 5 games for the Nintendo Switch. Now guys, these are games that is probably not gonna see the USA light of day here, unless you're actually getting the game from PlayAsia. So let me show you the games that I bought. I know this came out for the Nintendo Switch in digital copy, and that is a copy of Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. What's great about all of these games is they have multi-languages, meaning you can play them in different languages, including English. So guys, you will not be lost if you bought this game from PlayAsia. And these are all sealed copies. Well, they're not going to be sealed copies anymore after I start playing with them. But very excited to play this, because I was so tempted to just buy the digital copy of it. But you know what? I'm a physical copy type of guy, so I wanted this. I wanted to buy it, so I had my cousin buy this for me. Second, I have Gigantic Army. This is a shoot 'em up platforming game. Now guys, this game reminds me a whole lot of Metal Storm. I know you guys who are NES fans, you know what I'm talking about. Metal Storm is a fantastic shoot 'em up game. This is basically that in 2020. So I can't wait to play this game. I've seen gameplay on it around YouTube, and I think it's phenomenal, and I can't wait to try it for myself. What's cool about this is actually when you buy that, my cousin told me this, they give you this keychain, which is actually a mini case for your Gigantic Army, which is pretty cool. Next, I have a copy of a double feature game, Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII for the Nintendo Switch. Guys, I know this came out in digital copy, but those of you guys who is actually looking for a physical copy, you can get it from PlayAsia. And I'm just excited to finally get one for myself and add it into my collection of physical copy games. Next, here I have, guys, what did I tell you? I'm actually a big fan of Kemco, which they make fantastic RPGs. And this one here is Kemco RPG Omnibus. It has 4 different games. Guys, I'm familiar with this game right here, which is Chronos Arc, and also Legend of the Tetrarchs. Now, Legend of the Tetrarchs actually came out, there was a copy that came out for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, which was released by Limited Run Games, which, you know, I'm happy about, but I was never, you know, I just never gotten my hands on them. I actually ended up buying this in this Chronos Arc and Legend of the Tetrarchs as a digital copy on my Xbox and PS4. But as soon as I saw this, there's 4 copies of different RPG games in one physical copy. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get that too. So I ended up buying it, but I don't have any idea how good these RPGs are. The ones on the top, which is Revenant Dogma and Illusion of Lephalia. And you know what? I'll tell you guys about it. I'm probably gonna make a video game gameplay of it for you guys. So stay tuned, check that out. And the last game that I bought from PlayAsia is Katana Kami. Now guys, those of you who are familiar with the game Way of the Samurai that came out for the PlayStation 2, which was everyone was going crazy about. I was crazy about it personally because, you know, you actually get to live how a samurai lives, and you make the decision, and whatever decision you make affects the outcome of the ending of the game. But this one is fairly different. It's a hack and slash. It reminds me a little bit of the Diablo 2 game and Diablo 3 games, but instead of barbarians, necromancers, sorcerers, you're actually a samurai. And what's great about it is multi-language. So guys, if you ever pick this up, don't be afraid to buy anything from PlayAsia, because they have a multitude of games that have multi-language options where it has English and you will not be lost playing it. The last thing that I picked up from GameStop is this 24-inch Pikachu plush. Yes, guys, I'm a big fan of Pokemon, and I've been collecting different Pokemon things for a while now. I just never told you guys. And I saw this 24-inch one before, and you know what? There's only 2 and they're exclusive, so I ended up picking it up. I finally learned my lesson. Last year I was in the line of a GameStop game store, and I saw a Snorlax. Now, Snorlax is my favorite Pokemon. So what happened was I was like, sure, it's still gonna be there the next time I come back. Guess what? January 2020, I see no Snorlax, and I've been looking for it for a long time now. Then the only Snorlax that I saw on eBay, which is going up for $300. $300. If I would have bought that for $39.99, I would have just collected it and just sat in my basement and be sitting with me whenever I'm playing a game. Anyway, guys, if you have a Snorlax, wanna trade for a Pikachu? Anyway, guys, that would be it for the pickups of March 2020. I hope you guys are staying safe in your house and keeping yourself healthy. And I'll see you in the next video. This is probably gonna be my last pickup for a while, just because of the things that's going around the world. So until everything kind of mellows down, I'm just gonna do some gameplay for you guys of different games that you can try out if you have them at home, or if you do have them, have never tried them before. I do have a plan for all of you guys, my subscribers and my new subscribers who's watching this video. I have a announcement that I'm going to make at the end of March, so guys, stay tuned for that. Make sure that notification button is on. And if you like this video, if you like this type of pickup games, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to give me some love and support. Until then, guys, I will see you in the next video.